Today marks 1111 day sharing lessons I learned, continuing to learn with all of you. And my hope is that those lessons will inspire you to pursue your dreams, your goals, and really empower you to become the person that you aspire to be. Today, I speak about two types of drivers. And I want to ask a question. Which one of those drivers do you think will drive further? Or which one of those drivers will finish the finish line? Which one will go further? So first driver is focusing just on engine alone specifically. Maybe able to fix few things outside, but the mainly thing focus on the engine. Second thing is totally different. He's want to make sure the car is looking beautiful and drive beautiful. So a lot of time he's focused on fixing the car. So that means that he changes the seats, changes the mirrors, as it's shining, changes the color, putting so many things inside. So what do you think? Which one will drive further? Which one will achieve destination? Now, of course, it depends. There's a lot of it depends. But the most important part, if you want to achieve your final destination, what do you need to do? You need to drive that car. If your car is in a garage and you're fixing it, the car is so beautiful and will not go anywhere. That's why first person most time achieve much more because he focus on the major things. And as his engine will allow you to achieve things. Engine will allow you to go further. A second could get lost into the things that really do not matter for the bigger picture. So the day lesson is that people sometimes become so good at things that do not matter. They become experts on unimportant things. But if you become expert on unimportant things, it doesn't move you forward. So today I want to focus on three things that really, what happens when we focus on unimportant things? Because those, it doesn't help. So number one thing is focus on prioritization. That's why we need to understand that we need to focus on prioritize things. Because if we not prioritize, it might be that we spend a lot of time on unimportant things. And when we focus on unimportant things, it's like sitting in a garage without really moving anywhere. So first one is that we need to understand that there is difference between activity and progress. There is a massive difference between activity and progress. And I think the best example for that is running circles, or you can run the trail. So that means that both running will allow you to run 10 miles. So that means if you running 400 meters, 400 meters, 400 meters around the circle, you at some point you will reach 10 kilometers. But if you run the trail, it will be 10 kilometers as well. But now you reach some destination. So when we're taking actions, we need to ask ourselves, do I run circles? Do I really get the progress? Because if you run in circles, you end up in exactly the same spot. You run so much, you put so much energy, you put so much effort, but you end up in exactly the same spot. Progress is different because you finally put a lot of effort, you put a lot of energy, and you finally get somewhere. That's why when we take some action, we need to ask, is this running circles or is this actually giving me progress, moving the needle forward that I could really get to the destination, next destination? I think that the people who really able to focus just on major things and they don't focus on unimportant things, they understand that time is valuable. Time is valuable. I think that the best example for that is really time is like a candle. You just put a candle on and at birth, our candle starts to burn. And every single person is a candle, burning candle. And while the candle is on fire, we have so much light to do things. But when candle is off, there is no more things to do. So when you start seeing that the candle is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, you want to make sure that you focus only on the major things. When we understand that time is finite, not infinite. It's very hard to grasp time. I know that. That is sometimes just saying that oh, time is very important. Time is running fast. It just is very hard to grasp that. That's why people who are have almost death experiences, they really pursue time more meaningfully because they understand how important it is to really to use our time wisely. Now, this lesson is too big a topic for this, but so let's move forward. And I think that when we really value time, we understand next point that we are able to say no strategically. That means that when you look into a first example of a car, what is important for that car to drive? What is important? So engine is important, the wheels are important. So you focus on the things that will actually make your car faster. Go maybe you will put some more things in the engine. Maybe you'll use better gasoline. Like you're all focusing how to make this car go farther. While other person is looking how it could make this car look better. So that means that inside with us as well, we need to make sure that within we make ourselves within better, not look better. And that's a massive difference. So that means that what do you do to be better and what do you look to look better? What do you do to look better? Because there are some things that we can do to look better in other people's eyes. But I think that when you focus on the things that really makes you better internally, at some point you will be able to look better anyways. And I think that that's I think that one more example regarding that is that's when you see that you have a massive garden, you have a massive garden. And the perfectionist will say yes to everything. They'll even things that they'll start to polish the rocks in the garden. Why do you need to polish the rocks in the garden? I think that that's a waste of time when you think about what is bigger picture in the garden, the beautiful flowers, the all the things, and we focus what really makes this garden look great. So we not focus on small details, we focus on the bigger picture, and that really makes or breaks sometimes the deal. Second thing that I want to really focus on is growth and courage. Growth and courage. I think that is a lot of times we become experts in unimportant things because we do not understand growth and courage. So one thing that we need to understand and be aware of comfort zone. So comfort zone makes us be experts in unimportant things. Comfort zone is makes us experts on unimportant things. Because as long as we are not able and courageous enough to take bold actions, we're taking the same action that we are already comfortable with. We're taking the same action that we are comfortable with because we are not have the courage to take new actions, bold actions. And because we're not taking new actions, we're doing the same thing over and over and over again and become expert in those things. But that means that's being expert in that thing is slowing us down. And I think that sometimes we can really look into example like if you swimming in a shallow water and you become very comfortable swimming in a shallow water, you'll never feel comfortable swimming in the ocean because you never learn how to swim, take that swim when there's a risk involved. So we always need to say, okay, I need to really be able to challenge myself. I need to really try to do more things. Second thing in that we need to overcome that fear of failure or rejection. And probably you have heard that thousand times. And it is a really great example is that toddler is when they want to stand and walk, they fall thousand times. They never quit because they want to stand and walk. And that's what we need to do as well. We need to go after our goals and try and do things. And a lot of times that we need to understand that if we want to do things that we want, that means that we need to do something that stretches us, that we are not able to do right now, that we are incapable to do right now. That is outside of the comfort zone. That means if you're comfortable doing something, that means that you're not trying to stand. You're still on the ground when you start doing something that is uncomfortable, that you are not able to do yet, that is stretch for you. That means where the growth are. And the last thing that I want to mention about growth is that compound effect matters. If you plant a tree, you need to water it, making sure that you're taking care of it. But after a while, the plant will bring so much fruit. But if you give up on that fruit early, that means that all the fruit will never come, will die. Then you plant another tree, another plant. You try to water it for a month, 2 months, and then you don't see any fruit, and you give up on that tree. You give up on that fruit, on that plant, and you don't get fruits again. And that's why so many people they do spurts of energy, and they like take care of that plant for a month, for 2, maybe 3 months, and they said, "Oh, there is no fruit. Probably this plant is not worth it. I'm going to other plant." And just as a fear of missing out, and we pursue different opportunities for 3 months. One opportunity for 3 months, other opportunity for 3 months, third opportunity for 3 months, and we never get the fruit because we never invested time until that compound effect kicks in. Because compound effect is a beautiful thing because it just compounds the effort that you put in. Every single time when you stop watering that plant dies, that seed dies. And a lot of time we want to really recover the same plant, but it doesn't work like this. And the last thing that I want to mention regarding that is a purpose and legacy. Purpose and legacy. That focusing on unimportant things will never achieve us legacy. We'll be expert on important things, but nobody cares about unimportant things. Nobody cares that you are expert in those things because nobody cares about unimportant things. So we need to understand that we need to live our lives based on our values and beliefs. And if we live based on our values and beliefs and our purpose, we're actually able to go outside of comfort zone much more often because we base our life based on compass. Because I love the analogy that we are people constantly in the forest. And it's very hard to see where we're going because you barely see anything, just a few meters in the front, but you don't see much. It's not like we are going there's nothing and you're able to see far where we're going. No, we're in the forest. And being able to use some different tools to navigate yourself, and the compass, values, purpose, beliefs, where it leads to, is much better. And I think that we need to understand that we need to transcend ourselves. When we focus on ourselves, it's very hard to really achieve meaningful things in life. But when we actually start thinking, okay, how my life could benefit someone else, how my life could benefit someone else, we're able to. The biggest thing that I think that we need to understand that just by living life in the right way, we're impacting people in a big way. When we live our life in the right way, we impact people in a big way. Every single rock that you throw in the water will make a ripple effect. Small rock will make smaller, and it goes far away. I think that every single person is able to choose: do they want to like make that keep that water smooth without ripples, or do they want to make that big massive ripple like Steve Jobs made a massive one of the biggest ripple, like it's a tsunami waves he made in his lifetime. So what kind of waves do you want to make as well? Do you want to keep the smooth water, or do you want to make ripple effects that reaches thousands of millions of people beyond you? I think that's where we understand that every single person is here to really serve. The last one that I want to really mention is that we're not supposed to really fall into that trap of perfection. Because that's the thing that is the biggest thing that really stops people from moving forward. I started today from that example. That person who focuses on the things that matter and makes the car work well will drive very far away. A person who focuses on fixing the car and making that car look beautiful will waste their time rather than going somewhere and using the car to drive somewhere. It's focused on polishing the car. Now, in the personal development, of course, important is to stop and fix the car and make it better that you could go farther and fill the gasoline. That's important. But at the same time, we need to make sure that when we stop, we don't waste our time on unimportant things that really do not add value in a bigger picture. So I hope that you reflect as well where your time goes and what you're expert in. Because a lot of times people say like, I'm expert in playing games. I'm expert in music. I'm expert. But do those things actually helping you to achieve your purpose? No, it might be said that I don't have a purpose. I think that's maybe one of the main reasons why people are not experts in the things that matter because just they do not have the vision yet. They do not have the purpose yet. And I think the first step is supposed to be because thinking about the vision, at least first few times, is very difficult. It's mind-boggling. Like what is supposed to be my vision? But I think that when you start investing more time and more time and more time and you visualize the things that you've loved to achieve and you start to really realize, yeah, I love this one, and you pursue things and you fail, at some point you know exactly where you want to go and you start focusing on things that matter with ability to say no and yes to things that matter and say no to the things that do not. So I hope you just win and see you tomorrow.